Lexi Thompson, the girl who nailed 15 big wins in just 29 years, is retiring. Yep, while some golfers take half a century to reach that number, she did it in under 3 decades. And now, she's got to quit the game she loves. But here's the kicker. It's not her choice. People have made it so unbearable for Lexi that she can't even think about picking up a golf club again. And let's be real, a lot of you out there are part of the problem, pushing controversies and jumping to conclusions without a second thought about what's really going on. Today, Lexi is heartbroken, crying because she's leaving the sport she gave up her childhood and normal life for. The real reason behind this? It hits us all where it hurts. Curious to know why this insanely talented golfer is stepping away for good? Stick around and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is where we spill the ultimate truth. So when you hear the name Lexi Thompson, you probably think of a young golfer who exploded onto the golf scene at just 12 years old in 2007, playing in the US Women's Open. While most kids were worrying about middle school drama, she was out there making history. At 15, Lexi decided to go pro in 2010. She didn't have an official LPGA Tour membership yet, but that didn't stop her. She made her professional debut at the 2010 US Women's Open, finishing in 10th place and snagging her first pro check for $72,000. Talk about making an entrance! Then, in September 2011, at just 16, she became the youngest winner on both the LPGA and Ladies European Tours. She absolutely crushed it at the Navistar LPGA Classic, winning by 5 strokes over Tiffany Joe. This win wasn't just another trophy. It solidified her status as a golf powerhouse. One of the biggest moments of her life came in 2014 when, at just 19, Lexi snagged her first major title at the Kraft Nabisco Championship. She became the second youngest major winner in golf, right behind Morgan Pressel, who set the record at 18. Seems so perfect, doesn't it? But every coin has 2 sides. And while Lexi Thompson's career has been a whirlwind of triumphs and major wins, there's another side to her story that's less shiny. Lexi's journey to the top is filled with personal sacrifices and bouts of loneliness that only she can truly understand. Her life has been far from ordinary since she was born in Coral Springs, Florida. By the time she was 7, she was already competing in tournaments, which meant her life would revolve around golf. This intense dedication came with a price, and the first thing to go was her social life. Lexi's parents, Scott and Judy Thompson, saw her talent early on and made the tough call to prioritize her golf career above everything else. This meant pulling her out of traditional school and homeschooling her. Sure, homeschooling gave her the flexibility to practice and compete, but it also meant she missed out on typical childhood experiences. Instead of making friends and having fun, she was on the golf course, perfecting her swing. Lexi has been pretty open about the loneliness that came with her path. Her life was a bubble of constant training and prepping for the next tournament. Her sacrifices didn't stop at her social life. The demands of training meant her daily routine was all about practice, leaving little room for hobbies or relaxation. While other kids were hanging out, going to movies, or enjoying school events, Lexi was grinding on the golf course. The discipline needed to excel at such a high level meant she missed out on typical teenage experiences. Despite these challenges, Lexi's family was a rock for her. Her brothers, Curtis and Nicholas, who also went into professional golf, provided a competitive yet supportive atmosphere at home. This support helped Lexi navigate her unique upbringing, but it couldn't fully protect her from loneliness and the emotional burden of her path. The physical demands of her training were also brutal. The long hours of practice took a toll on her body, leading to fatigue and the risk of injuries. Maintaining peak physical condition added another layer of pressure to her already packed schedule. Lexi's commitment to golf was unshakable, but it came at a personal cost she still deals with. And do you know about one of the wildest, most controversial moments in Lexi Thompson's career? We're talking about the 2017 ANA Inspiration. So, Lexi is leading the pack, looking like she's going to snag her second major championship. Then, out of nowhere, bam! A TV viewer sends a tip to the LPGA website saying Lexi misplaced her ball on the 17th green the day before. Yep, someone sitting at home with nothing better to do changed the course of the tournament. On April 2nd, 2017, right in the middle of her final round, Lexi gets hit with the news. She's slapped with a 2-stroke penalty for the ball placement and another 2-stroke penalty for signing an incorrect scorecard. Just like that, her 2-stroke lead turns into a 2-stroke deficit. But Lexi, being the fighter she is, doesn't just roll over. She battles back, forces a playoff with So Yeon Ryu, but unfortunately she loses and the title slips away. This incident blew up the golfing world. People went nuts debating whether it was fair for a TV viewer to have that kind of power. Now, penalties can't be applied retroactively if a player didn't know they broke a rule. Thanks to Lexi, we won't see another player get blindsided by a couch referee. The 2017 scandal hit Lexi hard. She's opened up about how it took a toll on her mental health and performance. The public nature of the penalty and the intense scrutiny that followed put enormous pressure on her. Lexi admitted that dealing with the controversy was one of the toughest challenges of her career. It was clear in her performances afterward that the incident had shaken her confidence. And her biggest day, both for good and bad reasons, came in 2021. But before I spill the story behind that, hit that subscribe button because I know you love hearing the real truth here. Fast forward to the 2021 US Women's Open at the Olympic Club. Lexi is leading with a 5-stroke advantage going into the final 9 holes. Everyone thinks she's got it in the bag, but then things start to fall apart. Her performance unravels, and she ends up with a back 9 score of 41. She misses a crucial par putt on the 18th hole, which would have put her in a playoff. The collapse was heartbreaking and drew comparisons to Arnold Palmer's infamous defeat at the same course in 1966. Lexi's career has had its share of these dramatic moments. The pressure and expectations in critical situations have led to some tough times. After the 2021 US Women's Open, Lexi admitted that her hands would shake towards the end of rounds, highlighting the mental challenges she faced. Managing stress and staying focused under pressure has been a constant battle. And then there's her putting. Lexi's putting technique has been under the microscope for years. She's tried various grips and equipment changes to improve her consistency on the greens. In 2020, she switched to a claw putting grip, which seemed promising at first, but the success didn't last. And by 2021, she ranked 143rd on the LPGA Tour in putting average. These changes, while necessary, added to the mental strain she was already dealing with. All these controversies and technical struggles have shaped Lexi's career. Each incident, from the 2017 ANA inspiration penalty to the 2021 US Women's Open collapse, has added to a narrative of near misses and heartbreaks. These moments have painted Lexi as a talented but often unlucky player who frequently finds herself on the wrong side of golf's most dramatic moments. Now let's talk about one of the most heart-wrenching moments in Lexi Thompson's career. The 2021 US Women's Open. It was June 6, 2021 at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, and Lexi was leading by 5 strokes with just 9 holes to go. Everyone thought she had it in the bag, but what happened next was one of the most dramatic collapses in golf history. So, Lexi starts the day strong with an eagle chance on the first hole and keeps her lead through the front 9. But as she gets to the back 9, things start to fall apart. She shoots a 41 on the back 9, missing short putts, misjudging chips, and just generally having a rough time. The worst moment? Missing a par putt on the 18th hole, leaving her 1 stroke short of a playoff with Yuka Saso and Nasa Hataoka. It was a meltdown reminiscent of Arnold Palmer's infamous defeat at the same course in 1966, and Lexi was visibly distraught. And this wasn't the first time her putting issues cost her a major title. Remember the 2017 ANA Inspiration? She got a 4-stroke penalty for incorrect ball placement and another for signing an incorrect scorecard. Even though she managed to force a playoff, her putting let her down again, and she lost to So Yeon Ryu. She has tried everything to fix her putting. Different grips, different putters, you name it. In 2020, she tried the claw grip, and it seemed to help at first. But by 2021, her putting stats had tanked. She was ranked 143rd on the LPGA Tour in putting average, which is pretty rough compared to her best days. Each time Lexi gets close to a major win only to fall short, it hits hard. The pressure from fans, the media, and herself is intense. After the 2021 US Women's Open, Lexi opened up about how the pressure made her hands shake towards the end of her rounds. That's something you don't often hear from professional athletes, but Lexi's honesty gives us a glimpse into her mental battles. Lexi's admissions about the psychological impact of her failures are revealing. She's talked about the emotional roller coaster of being a professional golfer. The highs of victory are often followed by the lows of defeat, and the constant pressure to perform can be overwhelming. After the 2021 US Women's Open, she took time to reflect on her career and the mental challenges she faces. She emphasized how crucial mental well-being is for athletes, and how much the scrutiny and expectations have affected her. Beyond the public scrutiny, Lexi also deals with the pressure she puts on herself. She's a highly competitive person, and the drive to succeed mixed with the frustration of falling short creates a tough cycle. Each missed opportunity adds more weight to the expectations, making it harder to perform under pressure. Lexi has been open about this internal battle, sharing that she's constantly working on keeping a positive mindset and managing her mental health. Now think of a girl who has dedicated her entire life to golf, sacrificing everything for the game she loves. Can she handle this level of trauma? The last thing Lexi wanted to do was give up the sport that defined her, but when she announced her retirement, the tears flowed. It was a tough moment, and anyone watching could feel the weight of it. Lexi's decision to retire early wasn't just about one bad day on the course. It was a combination of factors, with her mental health playing a huge role. So, what do you think? Did Lexi make the right call? If you've got a different take, drop it in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you've stuck around this long, you're definitely going to love the rest of the juicy revelations we've got in store.